Shelby Hayes, what's going on?
How are you?
I'm doing well. I'm so
Good.
glad that you are our very first guest on Agents Growth Academy.
I am super stoked to be your very first guest on Agents Growth Academy. That's awesome. What an honor.
Well, you know what that means? That means that when people get interested in the show, they'll go back to the very beginning, and your show will be one of the most watched shows out there. So no pressure. No, I'm kidding. Right? Glamorous. So I'd love for you to just give me the rundown, give me a synopsis of how you got where you are today.
All right. Well, growing up, my grandfather started an insurance agency in the 50s. My dad started to work for him in the 80s. So it's in the blood for sure. I didn't obviously grow up wanting to be an insurance agent. I don't think that's what many kids aspire to be for
No,
sure.
no.
Um, but both my grandfather and my father are amazing human beings, and so when I did start to think about what I want to do when I grow up, I told my pops that I was interested to come work for him, and he said, "Fine, prove it. Go to school for a couple years. I don't care what you major in." So I did psychology, which I think, and
I did the same at first.
okay, there you go. So step one, get a
Yeah,
degree in psychology for
right,
sales.
right.
I think. I mean, I can't tell you how often understanding the human brain and how people click, it really, really does transfer into any business. I think
Yeah,
not just sales or especially not insurance, but yeah. So I got my 4-year degree on the 4.5-year plan. So and then I came to the agency, and that was back in 2007. So 2007, just get my feet wet. I remember I'd go into, I think we had Ebix was the thing we had at the time. So I would just go in there and put claims in and answer the phones, get my dad coffee, and fast forward to 2016 when our agency ended up selling. And so that was when I had my transition from kind of the small agency side to the super fast paced corporate side.
sure.
And I think those two experiences are awesome to have too going
Yeah,
forward,
yeah,
because it's either or is not for everybody. So it's kind of like when you hear people, everybody needs a wait table once in their life just to know what it is. I think the same thing could be said on corporate and family owned, because you get the
yeah.
values, but you get the experience and the knowledge from the fast paced sector. So they're, in a nutshell, 15 years.
Awesome, awesome. And then you were with the large national broker for
Mhm.
how many? Just a few of those years, the last few years.
Last 5 years was with the corporate.
Yeah, awesome. And what I remember us talking about offline is just your amazing growth in the last couple of years. You're a personal lines agent, correct?
Yes, correct.
And you won several awards. And by the
Yes.
way, I mean, we could say it, right? You were at Iowa, right?
Yeah.
You won several awards with them. Tell me about those awards, and then tell me about what happened in the last year with your growth.
Okay. Well, one of the first awards, I think, and it was before we even moved in. It was right as we sold the last agency, and they had this national idea award, and submit your ideas, what you think helpful to the agency. And so I
Yeah,
submitted a win back program that won third place. And then so there's that part. And then of course last year I actually won the top sales award
in the
for
whole company
sales. Yes.
for personal lines.
Yes, and
Wow,
all of the personal lines. Yeah.
that's
And it
pretty dang
actually
cool.
happened to be, yeah, yeah, absolutely. It happened to be over double what I did the year before. Um,
Okay, over double what you did the year before. What is the secret sauce there? What did you change about how you were doing it before?
I think the main thing that changed was territory. I was able to spread my wings a little bit more, but
Yeah.
more so to that, when it's not just like, hey, you can sell here or here, and you just sit back and wait. Those were the opportunities where, something legislative that affects everybody
Yeah.
would happen. I would take my new territory and send a quick blog like, here's what just happened, here's what that means to you, here's what that could mean to your clients. By the way, I'm fair game now, come see me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Shameless plugs. I'm all about the shameless plug.
Yeah, absolutely. And where do you do most of that? Is it like on social media, email? Where is that?
It's both. So both, yeah. My social media. Anytime I post a blog similar to that, and I would kind of mirror it. The people that maybe weren't on that distribution list now see it.
Hmm.
Even if they aren't interested in reading the article, oh yeah, Shelby, I've got so and so that I'm trying to get. Let's see if we can get the bundle together. And so I would always get hits on the heels of any emails or LinkedIn post, and I'd send
Yeah.
those out internally. To my own commercial brokers, like, hey, this is a partnership. Here's how I can help you. You don't want your commercial clients getting poached by their personal lines insurer. So give it to me, and that's one less opportunity for somebody to steal the business from you.
I love that idea. And I think one of the things I know that I've seen people struggle with over the years, especially in personal lines in any agency, is, building that rapport with other commercial agents within the same agency. That
Mm-hmm.
takes time, right? And are
Mm-hmm.
these articles you're writing, or are you sharing other people's articles?
Mine.
Yours. Okay. I
Yeah.
mean, and that's so you must love to write. No?
I'm
I
sorry,
lost you
we're
there for a
breaking
second.
up.
No, no, you're
There
fine.
you go. Yeah, ask
Um,
me.
yeah, no, no, it's fine. So what I was saying is you must love to write.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's almost, yeah, it's cathartic, but
Yeah.
I like educating people too. It makes
Yeah.
my job easier. It's one less time I have to explain something if somebody wants to read it on their own.
Yeah.
People appreciate that too. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Awesome. So what kinds of things are you writing about then when you're sending these out?
So a lot of it's situational, like a situation and experience would come up. Like one of the things that comes up a lot for auto insurance is people call and ask if they should plead no-low to, a speeding ticket or something. And will that save them on their insurance and blah, blah, blah. So,
Yeah.
a situation like that. And that's a common misconception with consumers. And I'm like, well,
Yeah.
that's actually a perfect article. So I'll just type something up and,
Yeah.
hey, this came up, guys. Here's my thoughts on what it means, and I'll reference articles and stuff like that.
Sure.
But the other thing on top of sending articles like that, I would almost challenge the commercial producers. Like, I know you don't know me, so how about I quote your insurance?
Okay.
Obviously, it's no obligation, but you can see how I work. You can see what companies I have access to now.
Yeah.
Uh, so that I actually started by getting the producer's insurance first, and then spawning off from there.
That is smart. I've never heard of anybody doing that, because if you think about it, like if you show me that you can handle my insurance, and if I have a
Mm-hmm.
good experience, like I'm immediately sold.
Right.
I don't need anything, because otherwise I have to trust what my client is telling me about the experience that they had, and probably have several of those experiences before I feel like I
Yep.
have enough rapport with you and enough trust to open up the rest of my book. But
Yeah.
if you quote me, yeah, that makes complete sense. Like, what
Yeah.
more do I
Yeah.
need?
Exactly.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And now you've seen my process. Now you see the detail and the care that we take care of. And again, part of my presentation process, because I've been in the independent sector for so long, I show you my marketing. I show you
Yeah.
my marketing efforts.
Yeah.
I want to be as transparent as possible, especially with my referral sources. I want you
Yeah.
to see everything that I have access to, how you look in that tier. And then, if I can't save you any money, I can't save you any money.
Sure.
But now that's really, you've got a good price on your insurance. So
Yeah.
it's a
That's
win-win, and that's how you present it. It's like you have
yeah.
nothing to lose, except for I could save you money, or you've got a good price currently.
Yeah. That's awesome. That's
Yeah.
fantastic. And are you getting referrals out of this business, or like, I mean,
Yes.
you know, hearing you talk about like having the territory open up, and let me, before I get into referrals, actually, I want to back up for a second, because having the territory open up, I know that might sound to a lot of people like, yeah, but I mean, I can't, I'm, I'm confined right now. And that's a great reason to, obviously talk to management, see if that can be opened
Mm-hmm.
up, or, if they can't, then find another place that can, find another agency that can. That's what I love about our agency, is that we don't, territory is wide open for everybody. You know,
Right. Yeah.
we're
I
out of
mean, if
Atlanta, but we can service folks all over the country. And like, we're a big enough city in itself that typically our producers are not running into each other. And our rule is, first person to get it into Epic, our agency management system, is the one that gets it. Like, if there's ever a conflict there. So that's what I love about, just having a wide open territory. But tell me a little bit about referrals. Is that part of your game, or is that not really something
Yeah,
you
I
do?
mean, my biggest referral, I mean, anybody's biggest referral is your own good work.
Yeah.
So that's my referral kind of tactic, is impress this guy so much that he sends me immediately on to the next guy. Impress that
Sure.
guy so much that he immediately sends me on to the next lady, and
Yep.
so on and so forth. So, the majority of my referrals, I consider them, I'm sure there's an actual term, but piggyback referrals.
Yeah.
Like, hey, you did so awesome for me. Here's, here's such and such. I mean, and with my personality, and obviously personality goes into a lot in sales, but I always said that my dad had never met a stranger,
Yeah.
and I kind of am like that now, and
Yeah, you are.
yeah,
I love that about you.
I yeah, my two proudest moments in sales was selling an auto policy to the marketing person that came into our office off the street to try and sell us office supplies. And we didn't buy any office supplies from her, but I sold her an auto policy.
That is
Um,
awesome.
yeah. And then, last year I went in to have just a normal scan, and I ended up writing my doctor's home and auto. Like, I have no idea how we even got on the topic, but it's one of those. So it's definitely, there's something innate in some salespeople, and some people, probably have to put forward a little bit more effort, but
Yeah.
it can be done. I mean, there's no right or wrong way, really.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love that. I mean, it's the concept of just, you're always selling, right?
Yeah.
ABS, always be selling, right?
Yep.
That's
Yep. Just
fantastic. I love that you completely turned around the sales angle and ended up selling them. That is so funny.
yep.
Like, on the spot.
Yes. Yeah. No, on the spot.
Wow. Like, literally
Yeah.
walked out with auto ID cards.
Yes. Yes.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That
No,
is a
that's
talent.
like literally, now you know why it's my proudest moment. It wasn't the biggest, it wasn't a big, policy by any stretch of the imagination, but the fact that she came in to sell me something, I didn't buy
Sure.
it. But sold her. It was
Oh
great.
my
So,
gosh.
yeah.
That's awesome. Well, if you were teaching a master class to other insurance agents, agency owners, what would it be on?
I think the biggest part would be kind of embracing yourself. Um, so it'd probably more be based on, behavior and not necessarily, it's not like you have to love yourself, but the same concept is in, a relationship, a friendship, a marriage.
Sure.
You need to know who you are. Don't change who you are, but
Yeah.
know who you are. Know
Yeah.
your strengths, know your weaknesses, embrace it.
Yeah.
You don't have to love it, but you have to embrace it. And then once you've embraced it, then you can focus on what you're really strong at, and you can avoid the things that you might not be as strong at. So, and I think a
Yeah.
lot of people and a lot of organizations focus too much on streamline. And obviously, you have to have streamline with data and documentation and everything like that, but they try and streamline people's personalities, and you cannot
Yeah.
streamline people's personalities. And
So true.
especially if you want authenticity, and you want to gain people's trust, you can't go in there with a script, because it's not your own words. Now it's somebody else's words, and unless you're winning an Academy Award, people can see right through that. And I'm a
I
terrible
love that.
actor,
I love
terrible
it.
actor. So
Yeah.
I made one attempt and I didn't even make it into the extras scene. So like
Was it
bad.
here in the Atlanta film industry?
Yeah, sort of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
We can talk about
It
that
was
later.
just like it wasn't like trying to make it in. It was the, extra couple bucks and something to put on your bucket list.
Heck yeah, that's awesome. That's so fun. Well, easy to do these days in Atlanta because our film industry is bustling. Um,
Yes,
my kids
absolutely.
love that. Most of the Marvel movies are filmed, or part of them are filmed here. my
Yeah, yeah.
my daughter rides horses at a place out west of Atlanta where they filmed some of the scenes for I think Endgame and one of the other ones. They're gonna listen to this podcast and go, "Dad, you got it wrong," but they love that. I love that when I asked you that question, you immediately went back to what you started out with in college, which was psychology, because it's all
Yes.
about
Yeah.
embracing yourself and understanding yourself. And what I love about what you said too, and I think obviously you're newer with us, and one thing that I'm excited for you to experience is that through our process of having regular check-ins with every single employee, and myself included, I get rated on how I'm doing as the CEO, which is awesome actually, because I want to learn how I need to grow as much as the next person. But I think what you're going to love about that, based on what you said, is that you talk about like learning what the best qualities of you are, learning what you need to work on, maybe what you're not as good at. And that's what we do through the process of having quarterly conversations with everybody. We call it spinach in the teeth. Like, hey, you got some spinach in your teeth, and I don't want you to walk around the office like that. Like there's something that you might want to be aware of. It's that mentality rather than Shelby, you did a bad job, right? It's
Right,
like,
right.
ooh, I care about you. I want to make sure you understand what's working, what's not working, and that becomes a much better way of you being able to, like you said, embrace yourself because you fully understand, or have a much better understanding of who you are, like what you need to work on, what you're really confident about. And I agree. I mean, hey, going back to the example of the person coming in trying to sell, what was it, copiers or paper or something?
Yeah, office supplies.
Yeah, yeah. So, I mean, I can just envision it. I wasn't there, but I can envision the level of confidence that you must have projected to be able to completely turn the sales engine around to the other person. You have to be confident in who
Yes.
you are in any role in an organization, whether it's a salesperson, a manager, customer service. That's so important. But be able to get that feedback from your peers too along the way. I think if maybe you've been used to that to some degree, in other agencies, I think you're going to love it here. And I know other agencies that are doing this, other companies that are more intentional about doing that, and people tend to flourish because we want to know how to better ourselves, right? One of our core values is grow or die. And it's that concept of always doing better than you did the day before, right?
Yep.
At Boston College, where I went to school, our motto is ever to excel, which is very similar, right? You're always looking to do better. So getting that feedback and having a much better understanding of who you are, what your strengths and weaknesses are, is the only way that you can grow as an individual and a professional, I feel like. So it's good to hear that.
Yeah, it's important for a team too, because you've got the people in the right seats that you like to say, and that way you've got the people that may not excel on some stuff. You've got those personalities on your team to help pick up that slack, and vice versa. So once everybody's doing what they're comfortable doing, it's natural at that point, because then you build confidence as well, because absolutely you still work on the things that you're not good at. But if you focus on what you are good at, then it helps build your self-esteem, and it helps build your want to know more in the other sectors as well. So, it's not just good for sales, but it's good for, your entire team. And being, transparent between everybody is like, okay, well, Shelby's not good at, XYZ, but, Stephanie is amazing at it. So, switch it up. I love that. I love that concept. I think that's the concept that you should absolutely have in an organization. So super thrilled about that.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love it. Well, listen, we've had a good conversation today. I think it's probably a good place to stop right there. I think that correct me if I'm wrong, but like your preferred method, if people want to reach out to you, would be find you on LinkedIn.
Yep, absolutely.
Cool.
You can find me on LinkedIn.
Yeah, you're pretty active on LinkedIn. I love that.
Yeah.
It's a good thing. It's a good way to connect with people.
Yeah. Well, millennials, you got to know your client base. And as a millennial, I reach my other millennials that way. So.
Love it. I'm Gen X, but I still use it. It's for everybody.
I prefer the Oregon Trail generation. I think that's what they're deciding to call us now. So I prefer that one. Oregon Trail. I got it.
Well, as a Gen Xer, I can completely relate to that because I remember playing that.
Computer labs.
In like 8-bit. Yeah. Fantastic.
Yeah, I think we're revealing our ages right now.
Yeah. Well, you can see all my Nintendo stuff back here. Like, obviously, I'm an 8-bit geek.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, Shelby, it's been a pleasure getting to know you and a little bit more about your story today. And I think it's probably going to help a lot of agents out who are trying to figure out, how to embrace themselves in whatever role they occupy in an agency, and how they can take it to the next level. So really appreciate you being here today.
Awesome. It's been a blast.
Awesome. We'll talk to you soon. See ya.
All righty.